The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
There is a new X-Men movie. It's I've heard it's really not that great, but maybe better than most of them have been pretty solid. This one, I guess, not so much.
Wow.
Apart from that, Dave hates all of this stuff. I mean, anything basically comic book related. So don't ever listen to his opinion on anything comic book related.
Thank you.
There's this poster for the movie which shows the villain, Apocalypse, played, I'm not sure who plays him. Anyway, choking Jennifer Lawrence's character, Mystique, that's the image. And it's, I look at it, I'm not offended by it. It makes sense to me. I understand that here's a villain choking one of the protagonists. And I go about my day. But people are outraged about this.
Yeah.
And saying that it promotes violence against women. So much so that Fox had to issue an apology for it. And I find this to be so stupid.
I find this to be pretty overbearing political correctness. If violence against women exists in a fictional story, is that by definition promoting violence against women? And if the answer to that question is yes, then by definition, any fictional work where there is violence against women is promoting violence against women. I mean, I get it. You're sort of taking one element of the story and saying this is going to be the poster. So somebody is making the decision to choose that image as opposed to any other. But this is starting to get, to me, to be one of those examples of overbearing political correctness, and we have far bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, so the quote from Fox here is that, in our enthusiasm to show the villainy of the character Apocalypse, we didn't immediately recognize the upsetting connotation of this image in print form.
Not to mention that these are not really humans, right? I mean, Apocalypse seems to be some kind of giant. I don't know what material he's made out of. I don't know what the deal is. Is he a mutant or whatever? And Mystique also. I mean, are these even really humans? Like, do the normal terms of man and woman apply here?
Well, they are of the same gender. Yeah. See, in the comic book, I believe Apocalypse was not a mutant at all. But in this film, he is the first mutant. He's the original mutant.
Okay.
And he's very old. Very, very old. So anyway, I don't know what exactly is going on with that in the movie because it kind of differs from the other stuff. Okay. Then they said that once we realized how insensitive it was, we quickly took steps to remove those materials. We apologized for our actions and would never condone violence against women. I found this to be so stupid that I took to the Twitterverse, Dave, and I tweeted about this.
Wow.
And I said, I put a link to this story, and I said something like, Fox apologizes, for this poster. Why don't they change the name to X People too, instead of X Men?
Very clever.
And
how was that received on Twitter?
I don't have many followers, so it's pretty minimal. But if I take to Twitter, I feel strongly about
Absolutely.
something.
Absolutely.
Serious business. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Neither have I.
I want to, but even though I've heard it's not that great, I still want to see it. All right, so there's a book coming out by a former Secret Service member who served under Bill Clinton. And there are people saying that this is going to make a lot of waves. The timing is, well, we know what's going on with the timing.
Yes, we do.
Is this just a cash grab, or is this someone who has a motive?
Probably both.
Probably.
Don't you think?
Well, I mean, I guess. Money has got to have something to do with it. So here's a kind of a description of the book that you could pre-order on Amazon. Posted directly outside President Clinton's Oval Office, former Secret Service uniformed officer Gary Byrne reveals what he observed of Hillary Clinton's character and culture inside the White House while protecting the first family. Now that a second Clinton administration threatens their scheme from the very beginning, Byrne exposes what he saw of the real Hillary Clinton.
It's written like House of Cards. From the beginning, the entire point of Bill Clinton becoming the president was for Hillary to become the president.
I doubt that, but once he was president, okay, maybe. While serving as a Secret Service officer, Gary Byrne protected President Bill Clinton and the first family in the White House and outside the Oval Office. There he saw the political and personal machinations of Bill and Hillary Clinton and those who were fiercely loyal to them. And here's the name of the book, Crisis of Character, Byrne provides a first-hand account of the scandals, known and unknown, and daily trials ranging from the minor to national in scale. One more paragraph here. Having witnessed the personal and political dysfunction of the Clinton White House, so consumed by scandal and destroying their enemies, real and imagined, Byrne came to understand that to the Clintons, governing was an afterthought. He now tells his story before voters go to the polls in hopes that Clinton supporters will understand the real Hillary Clinton.
Devastating.
This is a pretty hardcore takedown.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some of what's there is true. You know, we know people who have been around Hillary Clinton when she was much less well-known, years and years ago.
And they still have nothing nice to say about her.
No, they still have nothing nice to say about her. But that's sort of a separate question as to whether she's the best choice of the people available for president. And I would not be at all surprised if her character is not great, because that's what many people I know who personally have been around her have said. And at a certain point, it's like, is that a reason to elect the guy who wants to ban Muslims and talks about my African Americans? No, not to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Not a book I'm going to buy.
No.
And it's not a book that would change my opinion of Hillary Clinton in any way. I know that.
Your opinion is already not that great, but yet you still think she's the better option compared to Trump. I mean, it's like that's what will the book possibly change?
Yeah. Yeah. And nothing. But there may be some interesting anecdotes in there. I'm sure there are. Then again, there are things in there that could be fabricated, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so who knows how accurate what you're reading is. That's another reason why I probably wouldn't bother with it because, whatever. All right. Sam sent me this one. Twitter is how Twitter is teaming up to mess with the Nazis. Now, I'm not sure if Twitter as a company and those who manage and run it are actually actively involved in this. But what people on Twitter are doing are messing with these white supremacists in an interesting way. Now, I did not know this, but there are Chrome extensions for Nazis, basically.
Right. I recently read about this.
That will put 3 parentheses on the beginning and end of any name that the extension deems to be a Jewish name. So you're browsing the internet, and anytime there's a Jewish name, 3 parentheses appear around it so that this Nazi can do whatever they do with that information.
Right. So like if you go to the David Pakman Show Wikipedia page, it would say the David Pakman Show is hosted by David Pakman, and David Pakman would show up with triple parentheses around it to dictate that we may be dealing with a Jew.
Is Pakman traditionally a Jewish last name?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people in Turkey I've found that have the last name, and they aren't Jewish. But the thing is, I've spoken with them, and they say that name is there because of there was one inter-Jewish marriage. So while they're not Jewish now, it still seems to be related to that. It's not a very common last name.
Yeah.
Pakman is more common, and that I've never seen be a Jewish last name.
Okay. But this is how the extension works. And so once people started becoming aware of this,
right,
they decided that, well, there's one way we can mess with the Nazis here, and that's if everybody just starts putting their name in with 3 parentheses around it.
Right.
And it's kind of clever. And so I think it's a nice way to, I mean, I haven't done it. Certainly my last name is not going to be picked up as a Jewish one.
Certainly not.
But so maybe that's why I should do it. But that's what people are doing. And it's, of course, ultimately, they can just change the extension or get a new one that puts something else around these names.
Right.
This just happened to be the most popular one. But just crazy, the lengths that the neo-Nazis and anti-Semites will go to. Because so many of them believe in the Jews control the world
course.
idea,
Yeah.
and they're always worried about where the Jews are. And
Now,
who's
if they did,
connected.
couldn't they disable the Firefox and Chrome extensions?
Couldn't who do that?
The Jews.
You would think so.
Yeah.
You would think they might not exist at all, but they do, and so you got to keep track of these things. The conspiracy theorists. Amazing.
Stunning.
Yeah.
No other words for it.
Yeah. What else is going on, Dave? Phone calls. You want to mention that one more time?
Yep, we are doing phone calls Thursday, June 9th. Please call in. Please clap. We are we're taking phone calls. It's been going well. The only frustrating thing right now is we don't have a system to put people on hold. So you basically just have to put it on redial, and then as soon as we finish one call, we go to the next one. But please keep doing. I mean, I think people seem to be liking it, but a lot of times there's this instinct that you're not going to be able to get through. And indeed, many people reported they weren't able to get through. But please try, because I think if we really build this out, it could be a great regular feature on the show. It'll add some dynamics to it. June 9th, Thursday, 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Set a Google Calendar alert for yourself. The number is 617-830-4750. And if you want, set the alert for 1:18 p.m. or 1:22 p.m. or whatever. We usually take the calls for about 15 minutes. So that's the sort of window. And we've been enjoying it. I mean, it's great because we always are thinking up topics for the show. And sometimes it's great to just say, hey, what's on your mind? And just talk with the viewer about whatever it is they want to talk about.
Yeah, it has been working well, and maybe in the future there will be a way to kind of have a queue of sorts.
Right.
We'll see. Can't do that yet.
Not yet.
Sorry.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.